Crewton Ramone's House of Math. We have training coming up on August 18th and the 25th. Two of them for $100. And there'll be 4-hour trainings each. You can stretch it out using Patreon if you want to just pay $5 a month for however long it takes you to pay off the $100. That would be 20 months. You can do it that way. You can give me $100. The reason why we're having a training is because a couple of people gave me $100 in advance, and then they negotiated and said, we need more advance notice, so let's do it on the 18th and the 25th, which gives me some time to promote it. And I got paid already, so it's going to happen. All you need is a Google Hangout and installed, and you can come if you want to. Now, I'll also be doing a replay because I have a camera set up, and I will record the lessons, and you'll have 8 hours of recording that you can access, and you'll see that it takes me usually a while to process everything and get it loaded up and so on, but for $100 you can come to the training itself, and I'm also going to probably sell the training for $100, unless you have a password or you're part of the super duper math group. You can get it for less, but the idea is that if you come to the training, you can ask questions. If you just watch the video, then it's basically just theory, and it's still going to just be theory, because what people have figured out, that theory and practice is what makes Crewton Ramone's House of Math so special, because you'll see unedited, certainly unrehearsed video of me playing with kids. Playing math with kids and showing little kids how to do some pretty exciting math. I mean, a lot of math teachers and engineers and so forth get pretty excited when they see, oh, look, you can make it super easy and fun for little kids. Because we're going to teach conceptually. So here's the concept. Let's do derivatives, for example. Okay, so this is still, this is calculus, but this is not integral calculus. We're just going to do derivations, or simple, how do we get this derivative here? It's pretty simple. Let's show it so you can see the concept. And after 1, 2, 3, we can pretty much assume that the pattern continues on. All right, so, and instead of just memorizing a formula, let's take a look at this. The first thing we're going to do is say x cannot equal 0. Okay, that's easy. So, what's our function going to be? Our function is going to be just x. So, f of x is x. All right, now what is that? That's actually x to the first, and we can have a little conversation about x. 1x to the first over x. I mean, do we need all of that? No, we don't need all of that. We just say x. All right, so all those others are understood. So when I have this, look at all the ones that are hanging around there that you need to understand are there. Okay, so now I want f prime x. Well, the first derivative of x. That's 1. Well, how does that happen? Well, because actually what it is 1 x to the 0. All right, we're going to see this. So x is approaching 0. That's the whole point, is that x is approaching 0. Okay, so let's get an x out and see what happens when x approaches 0. There it is. So what I'm saying here is I've got 1x, and x is going to approach 0. Well, of course, what is that going to be? As x gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, what do I have there? 1. There it is. All right, let's build another one. Now what happens when I have x squared? Okay, so my function is going to be x squared. Parent function. Okay, so let's see here. I have x squared, but here's the deal. We have to have some shared experience here. What we're talking about is trying to find the slope of on a curve. So I'm going to have x plus a little bit more, x plus a little bit more. Even if it's infinitesimally small, we still need to have 2 points in order to calculate a slope on a line. So here, what I'm going to do is pretend that whatever my function is, these things are going to get closer and closer and closer together. I'm going to have x and some more. So this is x dx, x and some more. And think about it. Even if it was just like a little bit more, like 0.01, that's 100th. Well, what's 100th times 100th right here? So I'm saying that this is x plus just 100th more, just a tiny little sliver more. Well, that's going to be 1/10,000th up there. So we're not going to worry about it. We're not going to think about it. It's just a 10,000. So this is out of there. All right, so now what happens as x approaches 0? So this is x plus some more, x and a little bit more, x dx. Okay, you get build these nicely. All right, now this is what happens when you have magnets. All right, so there it is. Here is x approaching 0. It becomes 0. It's getting closer and closer to 0. Oh, there it is. X is now 0, right? The x squared doesn't exist. It's 0, right? We've approached 0. Well, what's left? Right, let's do it again. There you go. So now, and I used to have a white x squared for just this lesson. Now, what do I have? Well, I have these two x, which are wafer thin, and this 10,000th, if it was just, like I said, just 0.01. So this is, we're not even going to concern ourselves with that. All right, so the next thing to understand is that, well, now I'm just counting what's left there. So I have, actually I'll put it over here so I have room. Can I make some room there? Yes, I can. All right, that f of f prime x is going to be 2x. And there's a 1 there. All right, let's do it one more time and see, but I'm going to have to draw this one because I don't have a cube handy. But if I did, you could take 10 of these, tape them together, so that you have a cube made out of it, and then you're going to be x plus a little bit more in each dimension. You're going to be x plus a little bit more this way, x plus a little bit more this way on top, x plus a little bit more this way, and then we'd have to fill in with these tiny things here, 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 and then a little cube in the corner. I think some of you Montessorians may have seen this. Okay, so I'm going to draw this, and you can do this. This is actually a good one to do with if you've got that blue set of base 10 blocks that has the blue cube in there. But we can do this, and just imagine it. Here's my cube. There you go, and there's that little cube in the corner. All right, so what you've done is you've made that, and then you've put 3 x squareds around it, because we're going to be x and a little bit more, x and a little bit more, x and a little bit more. All right, which means that when I have f of x, and that's an x cube, we are going to see, oops, well, not like that, put an arrow there, that what I get is 3x squared. Because look, I'm going to have that, that, and that. So that gives me 1, 2, 3 of them. What do I have? X squareds. And I have these things. They're infinitesimally small again. And that thing, we're not going to worry about those. We're just going to have these. All right, so there it is, made pretty plain. What rule is that they give you to memorize? See, and half the time I can't remember. I don't remember the rules. But I can, if I can remember this, then I can remember that. Oh yeah, that's f prime of x is the same thing as I have my x, and I have an n here and n minus 1. So this is one of those things that they just told me, just memorize this. You don't have to understand what's going on here. And so what happens is you get a very poor understanding of mathematics when, oh geez, let's get better notation in here. F prime, oh look, this pen's running out. F prime x equals 3x squared. I have a better pen. It ran out while I was using it. That's amazing. All right, here. That's not very much writing I did there either. All right. Oh yeah, that's much better. F of x is going to equal 3x squared. So you can see there's your rule that it's. Now, this is the problem. So you just take this and take, well, oh, and no understanding what's going on here. Even a little kid from the Montessorians will have a better understanding of this derivative function, or this idea, this rule right here, than a lot of older students. And can you see that if I had 2 of those cubes there, then what would I have? I would have 6x squareds. Do you see why it's multiplied together there? Same thing here. If I had more than 1x squared, then I just multiply the 2 times, right? Okay, why? Well, that's why. You've just seen why for a change instead of just memorizing a rule. All right, there's plenty more available to you at the training. When I go for 8 hours, there's going to be all kinds of things that you've never seen with just addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. maybe some fractions. We'll do some percentages. We'll see what people want to do. I know they want to do lots of games and activities, lots of short 5-minute lessons that you can bust out during class so you can flow from one thing to another. We're going to talk about flow. We're going to do some teacher training. We're going to have theory. And then you can see theory in practice right here on this blog and on my website, where you see hours and hours of unrehearsed, definitely unrehearsed lessons with little kids and some older students also doing mathematics of whatever, high school mathematics, and just understanding Montessori methodology here, the Mortensen method, 100% Montessorian, to teach. And all he did was go further. That's all it is, to use these blocks to teach mathematical concepts. Now, here's the thing. Most of you guys have blocks. You don't know how to use them to best effect. I will show you how to use them to best effect. Simple as that. The next training that's coming up is August 18th and the 25th. I'll write it down here. So August 18th and the 25th. So you get 2 trainings for the price of 1. And if you come to one, great. And if you come to both of them, great. If you miss this one and you go to the, well, it's still going to be $100. People will tell me, no wonder you can't raise your prices, because you're just giving it away. People can't believe how much training and how their mind gets blown and their horizons expanded when they come to these trainings. So this will be 8 hours worth, right? 4 and 4 is 8. 2 4-hour trainings, and then and then of course you'll get the replay. And those of you that want to skip the training and just get the replay, you will be able to do that also. And I'll make pages and so forth. And then, like I said, if you want to stretch it out with using Patreon, read the blog about that. And it's pretty simple to use blocks if you know how. But you have to have somebody that knows how show you how. And then you can show others. That's the greatest thing about this. It doesn't end with me. There are plenty of people that, several generations, like somebody came to a training and it came through their homeschool, and then finally they got back to me. And it was like 4 or 5 different iterations before they finally came and got some training themselves directly from me. But that's the idea, is that I train you and you can show others all day long, and I still keep the knowledge, you still keep the knowledge, and you share the knowledge, right? So what we're doing is trying to get more people to be able to use their base 10 blocks to best effect. So anyway, here is a standard simple lesson on derivatives. Right? And this pattern continues on if you go up to x to the 4th and x to the 5th and so forth, once you see how it works. Oh, one more little bit of explanation over here. All of that, no matter what x is just 1. Okay, and this is part of the concept of, we talk about hero 0 and no fun get back to 1. Hero 0 and no fun get back to 1 right here in this lesson also. All right, so be there or be square. Many people have been bothering me to have a training, but nobody wanted to set dates and so forth. So you get this training because 2 people paid me in advance, and we negotiated on dates because I was going to have them more immediately. But now you have some time to schedule or try to move things around. On the 18th and the 25th. And again, this price right here, this information is priceless. Many places charge for a morning training $400 or $500, and more power to them if they can get it, because yes, this information using base 10 blocks to best effect. And now the thing that people have found, and I'm flattered, is that they've gone to some of those trainings that paid $500 and found that they're not only what am I going to say? They don't get as much information, and their minds don't get blown as much as when I'm doing a training. Simple as that. So for this, you will see that in these 4 hours, it will be custom made for whoever comes, and I have 9 slots available. You'll get a Hangout, and we'll just go to a Google Hangout and have a good time. We've done this for quite a while. It's very simple. Install the Google Hangout app or plugin, depending on what kind of device you're on, and make sure you know how to use it. Send me a friend request, and I will add you. and then I can invite you easily, or I will put the link to where you need to go on a Facebook page or someplace like that, so that on the day of the training, you know where to be. All right, Crewton Ramone's houseofmath.com for more.